It's so hot. Oh my God. So I'm so glad you are here. Welcome to Think and Grow with Vet Green. It's been a long time coming. Every time we were supposed to get together, the enemy just something happened. Something happened. But I was so happy we had that conversation the other day. I feel like we've known each other for years. Like we just pick up where we left off, like we ain't nothing in, it just pick up like that. But that ain't nothing but God coming through us. And you look so beautiful. Look so
Thank you.
beautiful.
As yourself.
Thank you so much. So, before we start, I'm not going to ask any questions that you feel uncomfortable, talking about. I just want it to be just a regular, candid conversation, just like we've been
Oh,
having,
yeah.
because that, is just let go and just let God. So,
Yeah.
tell me, how have you been as far as your creativity? Because I know you are so creative. I see the videos and the YouTubes and your Instagram and the power of positivity that you be putting out there. So how have you been creative wise? Where's your mindset at right now?
Well, creative wise, as of lately, I've just been like writing a lot. I have been to the studio, but I kind of calmed down. I kind of slowed down going to the studio for a little bit because like right now, I'm really like trying to get like my groundwork done when it comes to like income, like passive income and stuff like that. Because as I told you for many conversations, that music is a thing that I do and I love it. But at the same time, I feel like that's just a door just to be open to like my other gifts that I want to do. And also, I just want to rebrand myself and really present myself as a brand instead of as a musician. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that people don't know about. So that's why you really don't see me online or anything like that because I'm actually working on a lot of things behind closed doors. And I actually have like literally 5 projects that I'm working on. So sometimes I work on one project and then and this is just dealing with like music. I'm talking about music. I have like 5 projects that I'm dealing on. So it's like I'm writing for each and every one of them. So some days I'll be like, okay, I'm working on, one of my projects called Suicide Notes, which I'm excited about. And then I go back into like my very first project, which is called Phases. So it's just like, all the ideas are just coming out. And I'm like, whoa, so one day it'll be this project, one day it'll be a next project. But yes, I have been working on things.
Does it seem like writing is therapeutic for you? Because listening to some of your songs, like it can be dead on sometimes on how I'm feeling myself, and it's like, wow, other people think like that, and for me, writing is therapeutic. Does it seem like that for you?
Yeah, writing is definitely therapeutic for me. It's frustrating too because, like, as you know, I told you plenty of times that when it comes to like my slow songs and everything, I can really just really put my heart out into it. But also, I still gotta, give the people like the fast stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh man,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta take a break from my slow stuff and let me get to the fast stuff. And you wanna know something crazy? It's just like, I do so well with the fast songs too, but like those not, those like my least. I'm like, okay, let me just put some fast out there. But I'm really into like my slow music and music that I can really like, really pen down some stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yes,
Yeah,
it's very therapeutic for me.
your music is so like I couldn't box it up and say you're, this person or that or that because it's so just like out the box and it just shows all of your creativity like Juice. I was listening to that song the other day and I'm like, and then you go to Open Letter and it's like it's two
Oh
different, yeah, two different on two different spectrums, but so inspirational for me. It's Open Letter. I swear you page out of my diary like Lord. He took
that's
a
one of my favorite. My favorite songs of mine is Cycle, Open Letter, No Other You,
hmm
and there's a lot of other songs that I haven't have released yet. And if you guys ain't know, dang, I forgot the name of my own song. Uh, uh, I forgot the name of, but it's on YouTube. You guys go check it out. But
well,
and
if
right, plug.
yeah, I know, right? Go ahead and plug away because listen, we were plugging you last week. I'm like, yeah, the opening of this song. Every time I can be in a bad mood, and sometimes going into the podcast, because life is happening. I'm like, oh my god, but I got to do it. And then that song come on and it's like, oh, you can see me in the background just
Uh-huh.
dancing faded. And I'm like, oh my God, it just puts me right where I need to be. And I just hope if you guys are listening, make sure you follow her page. It's Rachel J. You gotta look for it, search for it. Follow her right now because if you guys aren't on this bandwagon now, don't go looking when she's up in getting her Grammy, like she said. like she said. So tell
Fact.
everybody who Rachel J really is because like I said, I can't box you up. You are I feel like God is showing himself just through you in so many ways, whether you're speaking to the people about the things that you're going through, whether it's your music, whether it's me looking at, something that the rooftop venue that you did, you're just so
Right.
creative, all around. So tell the listeners who Rachel J is, where it is that you come from and what got you in the first place.
Right. Okay, guys. What's up, guys? My name is Rachel J, aka RJ, for the people who know me personally. But yes, I am a motivational speaker. I model. I do music. I'm a songwriter. I go out to places and just speak and everything. But to give you guys just a little intake on my personal life, I am from Chicago. Illinois, Southside, Inglewood. and I started off as a praise dancer. My auntie, which is Agatha, she was a manager of mine when I was in a girl group also. So I started from praise dancing, then went to a girl group, and then I became solo.
And I actually I was searching for more of your music. This was early on, and I came across the girl group. You guys were good. You
Thank
guys
you.
you guys were really really good. And then that's when I the one video you have, I can't think of the name of the song, but your hair is just like bushed out and red, and you're like walking through the field. That's what made me fall
Yeah.
in love. I'm like, wait a minute. Because that was a song, it wasn't on your Instagram page. I just was searching for your music because I liked your music and I
What
came across
song
that.
was that?
What was it?
Was it the one in the when I was in the group?
No, it was just your solo. It may have been one of your first songs that you had written or videos that you had
Right.
put out. And you're like walking through not a wheat field, but definitely like a field or something in the video, and your hair is red and bushed
Was
out.
it Cycle?
It might be
Was it
psycho.
Cycle?
It might be
Yeah, because
psycho.
Cycle was the first video that no, it wasn't the first video I did solo. It was my third video that I did. Now, the thing about Cycles, because I did two covers. I did two cover songs before I dropped Cycle. See, the thing is about Cycle, it separated me. I won't say it separated me, but it it set me apart from the group. Like people really started to get into like Rachel J as a solo artist. So Cycle was always like I hold dear to my heart because when you in a group, even though you still have your own identity, you have two other people that you have to make decisions with, and it's just not about you. So my main thing was is like, okay, I'm out this group. I was just writing and Cycles. I was like, you know what? I really want to get into something that I really want to write about. I really want to make a video around nature because I love nature. And, I just really want to let people know how my relationship with God is. And, I put that inside that song, which is the song it talks about, you constantly in that same cycle of making mistakes and, you can't find your way out until you find your way into then you end up in the wilderness, which is, what the video indicates. And, you end up in the same cycle instead of taking accountability for the mistakes that you have made, you try to place the mistakes on God. Well, a lot of people don't know, Cycles is a song between me and God having a conversation. So if you see the song, make sure you guys go on YouTube and check it out. It's called Cycles. It's a conversation where I'm blaming God about what I'm at in life, and then God come back, which is in the second verse, telling me like, "Oh no, 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 you can't blame it on me because you know you have free will." You know what I'm saying? And I put people in your life or whoever in your life to try to get you on the right path. You choose to go the other way. So this is why you find yourself into the same cycle. And like you said in the video, it's like I'm running, but I'm running in circles, so it's nowhere that I'm going.
Open walk me through where your mind was when you wrote Open Letter because it's so deep. is so like that. Oh, like, God, tell me what I'm here for. How many people have Googled that? How
Oh,
many people wake up in the morning thinking, like, God, what am I here for? And never find out. They never find out. So walk me through where your mind was, because it's, and if you guys have not listened to, if you follow me on Instagram, I have it all the time. Um, Go ahead and look for Open Letter on YouTube. This song is, it just touches my heart because it's deep. It's deep, it's insightful, and you can tell it came from your heart as you were writing it. So walk us through where you were during that time.
ooh, okay. Holy Spirit, speak to me because I want to make sure I touch on exactly where I was at in that when I was writing that song. So
Bingo.
I remember when I was writing that song, I wasn't like I honestly I was off into secular music around the time. This was around when I wrote Open Letter. It was around the time that I decided to turn my back on God because I really didn't want anything to do with Him, and I felt like I was just always what would they say, sheltered. So I'm like, okay, I literally had a conversation with God and said, okay, I'm gonna do this myself. So around that time, I'm like, I figured out like, okay, I've been away from God so long. It felt like I was on the line, and I was like, God, I've been away from you for so long. I don't even feel like I can even write a song about you anymore. And when I was on the line, I wrote that song while I was literally making cars. And as soon as I said that, I was listening to beats on the line, and he dropped it right in my spirit. As soon as I heard the beat, I was literally putting door handles on and really literally writing down the lyrics in my phone and everything. And honestly, the words in that song, it was just like everything that I was feeling. I felt like I wasn't anything. I felt like I couldn't write. I felt like I was just stupid. I just felt like I was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I decided to go away from the presence of God. And it left me in a very dark place to a point. It's like, God, I don't even feel like I can even worship you anymore. Even got to the point where I was so far gone away from him, like I couldn't even write like when I write, I'm very articulate when I write, and when I write, I don't like to just write down anything. And I was off in the world like so much, it was like my gift was dying, and that's why I felt like I'm like, God, when I sit down and I write, I can't even come up with like certain type of stuff anymore. I felt like my gift was just being poured out of me and everything. So I was just on the line, I'm like, dang, whatever I'm here for. When I walk through, I talk through, I really got a reason because I felt like I had no reason to be here. I was dealing with suicide. I was dealing with, torment of the mind. I couldn't even sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? And just, I was just being tortured. I was just being tortured just by my thoughts and just by the things that I was entertaining at that time. So God said, okay, you feel like you can't write? Let me show you who I am. As soon as the beat came on, God just poured, like I literally just poured my heart out, and I just pouring it and just pouring it into the song. And to make a point, I let people know when I wrote that song, I was not in God's presence, and I want
Mm.
to make that a key because a lot of people think that God, went away from it and God still can use you. No, you may went away from God, but that gift is still there. God still had that grace and mercy upon you. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you play with him, but he had to show me like, Rachel, I am still here. That gift is still operating. You decided to go and step away from me. But since you called out to me, I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna pour into you, and this is what I want you to say to the people.
Uh,
And to this day, that song, like, I never thought nothing could outbeat cycles. I didn't think anything could outbeat cycles, but that song alone, I hold dear to my heart because I know where I was at. I felt like God took His grace away from me. I literally was, contemplating suicide and everything, and I just felt like I just wasn't, man. That
yeah.
that song right there is just always gonna be close to my heart. I know where I was at, and then not only that, I know people. I'm not the only one that feel like that. So to know that God used me as a vessel to get that song out there, but to know that I'm not the only one that going through, it was just like, man.
And I tell you this, the first part of this year and going into the second quarter of this year, that song was a staple because you do. It's like when you go through things and you do move away from God, because we as humans want to
Mm-hmm.
put our hand on the wheel and drive it. And a lot of that comes because we're so used to having to struggle on our own, not thinking that God is always on our side. So we want to put our hands on the wheel and drive. And God is like, no, don't do that. So when we do that, I from my own personal life, I felt like, I was no longer at his feet. I always think to myself, I want to just be sitting at God's feet. And I can feel it, right? You can feel it when it's like God is there, but because our mind or my mind is not on him or my eyes aren't on him, it feels like he's not there with me. Is that how you were feeling as well? Like it is like,
Yeah, I was definitely feeling like that.
yeah, and it does get tough to try. And I always say,
Mhm.
God, just put me back at your feet, please. I know I done did wrong, and we talked about this the other day when, I mean, you get reprimanded when you are disobedient. God
Mhm.
put it on me, and we had talked about this as well, like relationships in general, not just
Mhm.
relationships, friendships in general. Sometimes God will tell us to, you know, move back away from that person. I was in a
Right.
friendship. I just, you know, ended a friendship with somebody, and we were friends since like literally Pampers. And that was hard, but
Mm.
God kept putting it on my spirit that this person is for you, this person isn't for you. But I kept going back and I got hurt behind it. And in that instance, sometimes it feels like, God's not around either. But I asked him
Mm.
and he told me, and I asked him and he told me. Have you felt like that before? Like you've asked God, to show you, reveal something to you, and he did, but we are still obedient. I mean, disobedient.
Yeah, I feel like the last situation I just got out of. Now here's the thing about me. Uh Before I got into that situation, I had rededicated my life back to Christ. And I was really warfare and I was really in it and that person came around. And it's something that I never had before. So God told me like, Rachel, this is not the thing for you. And again, I had a conversation with God. I'm like, well, God, I never had this before, so I'm gonna go after it. And that's exactly what I did. I went after it. And during that time, God kept telling me, Rachel, leave, leave, leave. I'm like, no, I don't want to leave because it's something I never had before. I literally had these conversations with God, and I really told him this. I'm like, no, I know you. I literally told God, I know you told me to do this, but I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
and I did it.
Yeah.
And since I'm here now, and I experienced that, and like, oh my goodness, never again.
Yes. I
But
feel you.
I took accountability because it's something that I couldn't really blame on God because when God told me to leave, He told me to leave plenty of times. But like I said, I never experienced before, and I was like, well, God, I literally just in my action just told God, well, I don't want you, I want this, and that's what I went. I went after what
Mm,
I desired. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So it did. This is just me speaking from my point of view. I can't speak for anybody else. This is just me speaking for me. I literally told God, like, no, this is what I desire. I know you told me that this is not for me, but it's something I never had before. So who are you to tell me to step away from something that I never had before? Yes, I know you know what's best for me, but I want to go and make this mistake. I literally told God that.
mm.
And God said, God literally told me, like, okay, you want to go and do it? I'll let you go. I'll let you go do it. And he let me do it. And I came back crawling on my knees, crying, like, oh, God, you told me not to do it.
Bragging.
I'm not going to leave you. He already told you not to, be in that. But I took it upon myself and I literally had a conversation with God. I said, you know what? I take accountability for, you know, me doing that. I can't blame it on you because, you did tell me to move away from it. So I'm willing to go through the emotions and really to go through, breaking away from this spiritual soul tie that I had, to get back to where I need to be at with you. But I took that accountability on that because it's like, God did tell me to move away from it and I did it. I chose my desire, my fleshly desire over God.
I've
So like, yeah.
definitely been there. We were talking about that. We were both around the same time going through the same thing, and I shared with you that God told me 5 times. I asked God, and 5 times God told me no. And
Mm,
I still, because it's like I never had this before. Like this is
yeah.
different, and when it felt good because it was different. But
Mhm.
then, those, for me, it felt like I can't run away from who God is calling me to be, and
Right.
who God was calling me to be wasn't aligning with who I was trying to
Mhm.
be. with that person who it was forcing me to be because
Right.
you know we change unfortunately and
You wanna
now
know something crazy?
mhm.
I remember. I'm sorry to cut you off. I didn't
Oh
mean
you're
to cut
fine,
you
you're
off, but
fine.
I remember. And this is when like it's the situation started to go downhill, and I went back into a bad depression and everything, but I was still holding on. And I was sitting in the bed crying. And this is the time where, and a lot of people don't know, is that like God speaks to you the most when you really in it. And a lot of people be thinking like, well, she ain't up God, because when you present something else online, people just think you out there, you crazy, you ain't talking to God. No, when people go through it the most, that's the most like that's when they really talking to God. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Because when everything going right, you really don't talk to God because
yes.
everything is going right. It's the truth. But I remember when I was in the bed, I'm like, I didn't want to do music. I wasn't doing anything. And I literally heard God tell me, he's like, Rachel, he said, the devil is literally killing you off. He was like, the more you stay in that, the more the devil is killing that gift in you. He said, the more that you cling on to this person, the more that the enemy is just going to kill you off. And if you don't stop, you're going to find yourself dead somewhere, literally. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from that situation or it's from you self harming. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, I'm like, God, but I don't want to let it go. Can you, because sometimes I'd be like, God, can you take it away from me? Just take it away from me. God literally just told me. He said, "No, I ain't taking anything away from you. I want to see who you going to." He said, I want to see if you're gonna choose me over this." And God said, "You literally is in a position where you have to choose me. It's either that situation or it's me." He said, "I'm not." He said, "I'm not taking you out of this. You're gonna have to choose." And I was like, I said, "Okay, let me work let me work towards this." But it just opened up my eyes, and it just really showed me like, when you really love God, and if you really say you love God, God be like, "Look, I ain't go, force you to do anything, because if I force you to do anything, true love is not forced." You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "No, like a lot of times we really have to choose if we're gonna serve God or just be, go out there and be in the world." And I wanted God to just snatch me out. I'm like, "You powerful enough to snatch this away from me. Why you don't?" He said, "No, because that it go against my word of free will." You know what I'm saying? You won't have free. I'd be contradicting myself if I just, you know what I'm saying? If I force you away from something that you don't, at this point, you really don't want to be away from. So no, I want you to choose to love me. I don't want you to forcefully love me. I want you to be willing to serve and love me and to come to me and break free of these chains and these shackles and everything. So no, I'm not going to snatch you out of it. I'm going to allow you to choose. I was like, okay. And to this day, I chose. I'm like, look, peace. It may took me a minute.
Right. It may
I
take a
chose.
minute. It may take a minute, but I crawled back to his feet too. I did.
Mm-hmm.
There's the one song you got. I think, is it Judge? I lost my focus song that ain't
Oh,
even had me focused. When I heard that, I said, "Good Lord." That's it right there, because I wasn't focused, and I was focused on everything but what I lost my focus. I lost my focus on God. I lost my focus on me. Focused on everything. They ain't even had me focused.
man.
That's a word.
And God just be coming. He just be like, Judge is another one too. But a lot of people don't know. I wrote that song before I even went through. It's crazy because God, sometimes God will have me write songs that I haven't even went through yet, but the words would just come. And God said, "Oh yeah, I made you write this because I knew you got to go through it." And I went back to that. I'm like, man, like it just be so crazy.
Uh,
Judge was definitely a song that like some that I recently just went through. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it'd be hard for me to go back and listen to them songs. I'm like, dang, I'm going through this right now. So yeah.
I was going through it when I because sometimes I'll go to sleep really early and I'll wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'll be like, okay, God, leave me where you going. And it just so happened that one morning I heard that and I'm like, oh, let me go to YouTube and listen to it. That I lost my focus. And at the time, I was probably boohooing in my bed, like, yes, that's
Man.
it. Like, I am losing my focus. And answer me this: you know when it's not right for you? Do you get those that intuition, but you just like, oh, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. yeah, and then you want to know, I was just talking about this with my brother. He was telling me like men know if they're going to marry a woman or not, and I said, you know what, Melvin, you right. And guess what? Women know when something's not right for them, but we choose to stay in it.
True. You
We choose
experience
to
the
stay
same thing. We choose this. We get those signs. We always. I can remember early on getting a sign, but I
in it.
chose to avoid it because it at that time it was like, oh, this is new. I've never experienced this before. I like this. I like how this feels. But then it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that red flag. Oh, I saw that, but it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep on being happy until I'm not happy, and that's what happened. I love how you take accountability for your life and you're
I'm
willing
big
to
on that.
share your experience with the world to show. See, what I love about you, Rachel, is that you aren't just an artist who's doing music. You're actually telling your story. Like, it's not always easy for me. You'll go get out there, and again, if you guys are not following her on YouTube, make sure you do. You'll
Follow.
get out there and you put your life on there. I remember the one video you made where you were talking about, just the struggles with God, just your struggles. So talk to us about that because you grow up in the church?
Oh yeah, I grew up in the church. Like with me, I wasn't really forced into serving God. My auntie, the way she presented God, it was always fun. Other people's stories are different, but coming up, I had a lot of cousins. We like my auntie was just big and just serving God. She had a church youth group. Just she just always made sure that we had fun with when it came to God. So like from the time I was little up until now, it's like I always had the desire to serve God because it's like I always had that personal relationship with Him. You know what I'm saying? I was never forced into it. And even when you said going back to like when you said just being real and when it comes to telling my story, ever since that ever since that I was young, I was always stood out. I always did what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I was an outcast, but it was just like okay.
You're an alpha.
I was
I
never
saw.
right. I was never peer pressure. And when I tell you, and I say this with the utmost honesty, I was never peer pressure into doing anything. If I didn't want to do it, I would not do it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's good and it's bad because of course, it gives me in certain situations in my life. But coming back, to my brand, that's a part of my brand, being real, being transparent. And I was like, you know what? I always want people to know that I always be transparent with everything that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? I said I don't want to fake. I don't want to fake it, and especially me being a gospel artist. I I've been in the music industry. I think it like it. You'll be surprised on how many people that's in the gospel industry right now making these praise and worship songs and all these Christian rap songs. They do not live what they preach. And I told God, I said, I do not want to be like that. I said, if I'm going through it, I'm gonna let you know I'm going through it. And I will write this song about it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't have a hallelujah in me. Sometimes I don't want to serve. Sometimes I don't want to read. Sometimes I don't want to be involved things that's dealing with God. But I be lying, like, that's just me being human. I'm not making excuses, but I just want to let people know you're gonna all that kind of mad stuff. What for? What for? Because who are you helping?
Right.
So I made that a part of my brand. My part of my brand is making sure that I be transparent with everything that I do. Let you know, like, yes, I am a Christian artist trying to get it right and trying to figure this out with God. And I stumble, and I just want to let you know, like, look, this is what I'm going through. If you're going through this, come on, we're gonna try to work this out together. You know what I'm saying? I said that sometimes I don't eat. If I know that I'm doing something that's not of God and I've been in it in a long time, don't expect me to write a gospel song about anything. Don't expect me to be on here trying to fake it. No, I'm not gonna fake it at all because I'm contradicting myself. And if I put that out there and telling y'all this, and then y'all see another thing, y'all blood is going to be on my hands, and I don't got time for that. So I'd rather come on here and let y'all know, like, look, y'all ain't getting this because I'm dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? And I know that y'all follow me, and I don't want y'all to think that it's right me doing this and serving God at the same time because it's not. Well, God said, you can't serve Him and praise coming out your mouth, and then curse coming out the same mouth. You can't do that. I try not to contradict myself. Now I'm not saying that I don't go through things because I do, But I'd rather be transparent and let you know, like, look, I'm going through this and I know I'm struggling with my walk in Christ. I need prayer, I need this, I need that. I try to be as transparent as possible. So coming up as a young girl, being a God and just, just trying to figure things out, I threw away all that traditional religion type stuff and I told God, strip away what I think I know about you and reteach you. And that's exactly what he did.
What the other thing that amazed me about you is that your talent is not just like you can rap. You could have easily gone over and one of the songs that I heard, you did a remix of Nicki Minaj song, and I actually liked it
Oh
better.
yeah, yeah.
I liked it better. I was like, I thought it was your song, and then I went back and listened. And no, I mean, I love Nicki Minaj. I love her music. I think, but I was like, oh my god, So, what made you decide? Because your music is not is not vulgar or anything like, and you could have easily gone over to that side, and your voice is strong enough where like you can definitely compete with the Nickies and the, I mean, you Little Kims, all of them. That's the type of genre that I can see you doing. You can definitely compete. So what made you not go over there, go and do that type of music?
Because I would have been abandoning my gift. I literally would have abandoned my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I already knew from jump that my purpose. There's so many people that's doing that. You know what I'm saying? I never really had the desire to do sex. At the end of the day, like I said, I was going through a phase in my life where I just didn't really want. I wanted to experience the world as I thought. When it's really ain't nothing out there. But yeah, it's just like my. If I would have went over there to that side, I just would have said, forget everything that God has me to do on this side, and let me just go off and just follow the trends and doing what everybody else doing. And I just would have let I would just would have let, that gift dial, the people who was connected to it, God would have probably, put them off on somebody else, anything, and then just would have found myself just dying off in, over here. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. Like a lot of people is not a lot of people is not happy on both sides, but let's just be real. What would it have took me if I would have went that way? I would have been talking about the same stuff that
And
everybody else.
everybody else is talking about, and you
Right.
definitely
And
are
God
set
said,
apart.
right. God
Definitely
said,
set.
you got something to say. You got God said you are the voice of the people that's been outcast. You know what I'm saying? That people who don't think they worthy, people who've been thrown off. You know what I'm saying? People who've been looked over. God say, this is what I mean, he had me here for other things, but when it just comes to your purpose, he said you have to be the voice for them. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the only one, but I'm in my own lane. You know what I'm saying? The lane that I'm in, I do my best to do right that. I'm not trying to step into nobody else's lane or anything like that. So when I say these things about myself, it's not that I'm boasting. It's that, I'm taking these gifts that God gave me and I'm using them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like God say, this is the lane that I put you in. And God said, if you want to be a voice for the people who've been looked over, people who've been molested, people who've been rejected, people who deal with suicide, who deal with depression, who deal with fantasy, escaping from the real world off into their fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
God said, if you go over here, you abandoning them. You letting them down. So God said, okay, I'll let you go in spiritual. I'm gonna let you know see what that's about. But just know it's for that gift will die out. And I was losing it. So I'm looking like, nah, I don't want to go there. I'm like, I gotta, this is what I desire. And it's like, oh no, I can't abandon my gift. I can't do it.
Don't abandon. You are definitely in your own lane. So talk to me about trying to break out in the music industry here in Chicago. How was that?
It sucks. Oh my goodness. It's just like I I don't know. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Just like I said, I was in a girl group and I think like it's just like it's in Chicago. See, Chicago is like a place with like choirs and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then like of course if you do secular, you got like the secular music, but I don't do that. But like when it comes to like gospel to me, it's more like a choir state, like choir and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to like put your footing down in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm not gonna say that it's bad, but it's no place like Atlanta or something like that where you can, everybody do music where it's like or Houston. Houston is a huge place for gospel rap artists too.
Oh, I didn't know.
So it's just like yeah, I think Lecrae comes from Houston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I heard that Houston have a big gospel rap scene. You know, when it comes to like gospel music. But like Chicago, it's not really like I mean, you have some gospel artists up here, but it's more like a choir, like choirs and everything.
Oh,
But you got the secular side, but they doing their thing up here. But honestly, it's just like that's why a lot of people go to Atlanta, you know, to like kind of pursue that because it's like, you
that's
know,
where it is. Yeah, I can see that. Even in Houston, I can see that because you have Bishop T.D. Jakes down there. Jerry Fowler's, that's a new person that I think I sent you his post that he did on TikTok when he was like, the demons can. I love it. That's another thing
yeah.
that helped me over this crisis that I found myself in. So what's next for you? You talked about your brand, and I do see you as a brand because again, I can't box you out, and please don't try and box her up because she doesn't belong in a box. Some people, you can fit them nice in a little box, and that's definitely not you. So what's next for you? What are you looking
What's
forward
next for
to?
me? Well, the next thing for me is like I said, rebranding. I also have a business that's I've been working on my self love business, my self care business, which I'm not going to speak on that now. I'm happy I got my samples coming in and everything. My self care, my mental self care brand that I just can't wait for you guys to see it. Also, I'm along the lines of like writing a prayer book because a lot of people don't know I am a prayer warrior. You know what I'm saying? So I just be up, really spiritual warfare. And so that's it's like God kind of sent me down, be like, okay, I got to be still on that part because I want to make sure that I'm in God and I'm pressing into God, so I'm able to open myself up to the Holy Spirit for Him to guide me in that lane. But other than that, I just been working on music. Been trying to find new video person because I have my other, I have my one video person. We good, but I always feel like it's good to have more than just one
Yes,
person.
different vision.
So yeah, different visions and everything. I'm working on my YouTube and stuff like that, and I start school for like social media marketing and everything.
Oh
So I start that
yes.
this week. I start
Ah,
that this week. So
I'm so
yeah,
happy
and new
for you.
music coming.
I can't wait to
Yeah.
hear. I can't wait to hear the new music. And before we go, I want to talk to you about something that we both have struggled with, and it's our mental health, just staying sane. So what do you do as a form of self care to when you feel yourself going into that dark space? That I call it that dark place, that place where the enemy is so easy to just come and whisper in your ear, like he'll just come and sit on the bed. I swear, sometimes I can feel him sitting on the bed next to me. I because that's it's the demons, and I do believe you had made a post a while ago. This might have been a couple of years ago, and you were saying, be careful of the demons. Like I believe that
Mhm.
people can bring demons into your house, or you can
Yeah.
absorb somebody else's demon that they're dealing with. So talk to me about how
Right.
you deal with self care and just mental health in general.
Well, with me, I do like skincare. I go into like because you have to take care of yourself. You got to make yourself feel beautiful. Of course, I go into like skincare. I my music. And I try not to isolate myself in my house too much because I love my alone time. So I try to get outside a lot, and that's for people who like are introverts. If you
Yes.
know that you don't, you isolate yourself a lot, get yourself out of that room
Yes.
or wherever you're at, because I'm telling you, the spirits is gonna mess with you. Your mind is gonna mess with you. Get outside the house.
Yes.
Surround yourself with stop surrounding yourself with people who need you and surround yourself with people who's gonna feed you. Literally. If the person causing you to, go into depression and everything, cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Find your niche, whether it's writing, whether it's going on walks, whether it's riding your bike or something. Find something to do. Plant yourself in something that is going to take yourself out of that zone and being out of that zone of darkness and surrounding yourself by darkness. You need to take yourself out of that element. You know what I'm saying? Get outside the house. Get yourself around people that's going to pour into you and positivity and everything. Um, Find something to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go to counseling. I went to counseling. I'm about to go to counseling my second time. God said, Rachel, you need to get your butt back in there.
back in there and talk it out.
Going back to counseling. You know what I'm saying? If you say, "Oh, I already been to counseling," look, if you feel that you need to go back, you can go back in there. I feel like I need to go back. I'm going back to counseling, and counseling is one of the best things I ever decided to do. And just to hear people's story and to know that I'm not the only one that's going through it, I'm telling you, it's going to help you out a lot. And then it's going to teach you the social skills, breathing techniques, all type of stuff. Get the help. Mental health is real. Counseling is good. It's not bad. And I'm saying especially for the black community because, with us, we just like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you. Just go in there. You know what I'm saying? No. If you feel that something is wrong, you do not need validation from nobody. Go get it. And if somebody call you crazy, oh, you crazy. That means you crazy. Get them out of your life. Because if anything, they crazy. If they think that you getting help is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Whatever you got to do to, help. Not bad stuff, because you don't want to plunge in something that's going to make you go deeper.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Stay away. Stay away.
Stay away. But find something to do, and that's what I do. I just be like, man, I get myself outside the house. I'm taking myself on a date tomorrow. I'm going to go see Jurassic World.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
I'm gonna get cute. Go buy that high movie theater, popcorn and pop, and I'm going to take myself on a date.
I
talk to myself every time, Rachel, you are beautiful. You are enough. You know what I'm saying? Forgive yourself. Know that you're going to make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow the enemy to come in and condemn you. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference from condemning and it's a difference from convicting. God convicts your heart. The enemy condemns you. God never condemns you. Know that you're going to make mistakes and know that it's okay that you might fall and you might get back up and you might fall again. But just know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just get back up and keep moving.
The experience.
Don't beat yourself up.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the experience. I love how you told everyone to get up and get out, because that's one of the things that I do myself. I'm an introvert. I know I am. I am quite okay just being in the house for days at a time and not being around people. I literally just days at a time. But one of the things I have recognized within my own life is that when you aren't doing anything, it becomes the devil's playground. It's like he can put things in your head when you aren't working, or just when you're not active. When I'm not active, it is definitely the devil's playground. And he has whispered to me that I'm no good, whispered to me, all types of things. And then here I am, I'm enforcing it, reinforcing what he's telling me by not doing anything with my life. So I'm on a journey, and I welcome anybody to join this journey, because it is not easy. It is something that I've fallen, gotten back up, fallen and gotten back up. But one thing he will not do is keep me down there. I'll come upon my senses eventually. And I can see you doing the same thing. Same thing.
And I wanna add, because with us we kind of isolate ourselves. This is for the people who do a lot of things, and they find themselves in activities. But what happened is, when they find themselves doing so much stuff, they don't think that they need to rest. And when they think that they rested, they don't think they doing anything. I just want to let y'all know that you're doing enough. Okay? Don't psych yourself into thinking that, it's not good to take a break. Take a break. And this is for the people who got a lot of stuff on their list, and they keep themselves busy so they won't have to deal with those type of things. But look, if you gotta set those things aside for a little minute, or just focus on one thing, just know it's okay to do that. And don't think that it's bad because you are doing it. You know what I'm saying? You are doing enough, because it can be different. I think you agree. Some people who don't do anything, I say get yourself out there and do something. But for the people who do a lot and try to, crunch into their work to get away from it, try to rest up. You know what I'm saying? The devil could try to come in on either side. You know what I'm saying? But just know that you're doing enough. And if you know that you are not doing enough, go out there and do something.
Action is necessary if you know you aren't doing enough in your life. So tell the listeners where they can find you, and how to, if they want to listen to your music, where can they go?
Yeah, so if you guys want to listen to my music, you can go on YouTube. That's Rachel J. You can follow me on TikTok. That's Vote for Ray Ray. You can follow me on Instagram. That's Ray Ray Random. And you could go stream my music on Spotify. It's out there on all media platforms. And I know y'all like, hold on. If your name is Rachel J, why you got all these different names? Look, It's so hard for me. I've been having Ray Ray Random for a long time, y'all. It's like I'm a hoarder. I can't get rid of that name, so I just put Rachel J at the, under there. You know what I'm saying?
Where did the
So
Ray Ray
yeah,
Random
just
come
go
from?
follow me.
Where did the Ray Ray
I
Random
am
come?
random. I am so random. I
Oh,
am so random, and I got that long time ago. I just do random stuff. Like, okay, I want to do this. Okay, I want to write a song about this. Okay, I want to do rock. I want to do this.
wow. You're not in the
I'm like,
box.
and I call right, and I call like my subscribers my randoms.
Oh,
My
I like
gems.
it. I'm definitely
Yeah.
a random. I'm,
Hey, random
I'm
people, what
definitely
y'all
a random.
doing?
Become a random. Make sure you subscribe. Please go and
uh,
subscribe. This is how we get ahead, you guys. You gotta support, especially if it's worth supporting. Rachel's music is
yeah.
definitely worth supporting. I love it. Every time I see something new, I'm like, yes, there's new music out. I even was listening to one of your songs, and when
You
I was
got the
in,
exclusive though.
oh yes,
Like, let me tell y'all something. She come I love it. Let me tell y'all. She called me like, yeah, my start of my podcast. I said, look, I got this, and that. Which one you want?
yeah,
Pick between one. She said, oh, thank you. I said, look, and I got some more that I actually want her to choose from. That's if you do like segment things. It's within your podcast. I
yes.
got one that I know that you gonna like. I
Oh,
know because faded. For y'all who don't know, faded, the
the
song that she
opening
have on her
of the
podcast now,
yes.
that is an unreleased song, y'all. She be having exclusives.
Ah, and I love it. I listen to that song, and like I was saying earlier, I can be in a not good mood, and I hear that song, and I'm like, yes. I'm in the background like this, just I love it. I love it. Oh my God. So, all right, if you guys are watching this, make sure you tune in 7 p.m. on Tuesday because Rachel's going to grace the stage of Think and Grow with Vet Green yet again. And come and just talk shop with us. She's gonna, bring us some more of her gems, maybe some music. We'll see. We'll see. She has some unreleased music that I know you got in your vault. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.